Do you have a toxic wife? If you do, then let me tell you how to fix a toxic marriage the foolproof way. First of all, let me just say, I know what you're going through. Toxic relationships are bad. Toxic committed relationships are even worse. Now, here's the bad news. Your marriage will only get worse over time, unless you use the detox technique I'll be telling you about today, that is. So let's fix things before they end badly, alright? Before we continue, do take a moment to click the like button below. After you do, I'll tell you why so many marriages start out well, but turn toxic in a matter of years or even months. It's something my colleagues call the 50% Conundrum. Ready to hear all about it? Then click the like button now, and we'll get right on it. Go ahead, do it now. Click like, and we'll continue with the 50% Conundrum. Done? Great. So let me tell you about the 50% Conundrum. It's a term we at my online community, Shogun Method, coined just recently. And in case you haven't heard of us before, Shogun Method is a top global group of men who do one thing, and that is to study the use of deep psychology to solve our relationship problems. Now, to date, nearly 90% of shoguns, that's what we call ourselves, end up in great marriages. Our relationships are strong, our wives are supportive, and our households are happy. What about the other 5 to 10%? Sadly, they make the mistake of marrying a truly crazy woman. And when I say crazy, I mean she had incredibly toxic habits no one could fix. It's squared with the oft-cited statistic that 5 to 10% of women are mentally unfit for marriage. Needless to say, these shoguns had to let their toxic wives go. Still, on the whole, a 90% success rate? That's something to be proud of, right? And yet, at the same time, we've wondered. In modern society, a whopping 50% of marriages eventually get so toxic that they break up. So we thought, does that mean 50% of women are too toxic for marriage? That can't be right. That's when we coined the term, the 50% Conundrum. And so we studied, experimented, and compared notes. You know what we found? We found that these marriages, the 50% that fail, have one root problem at its core. It's not incompatibility, it's not immaturity, it's not irreconcilable differences. What was the root problem? Here it is. It was a downward spiral that led to the loss of attraction. Put simply, one thing happened after another in these marriages, and these little things simply eroded the attraction the wife had for her husband. And it's this severe lack of attraction that causes the toxicity in her. And ironically, she's toxic because she wants one thing, and that is to make you man up, take charge, and make her feel attracted to you again. And you know what's the most incredible part? She doesn't even know she's doing it. She really doesn't. It's a reflex that women in relationships have. The moment you don't act like the strong, dominant leader you promised to be, her toxic mode kicks in. And it's all to make you man up. It's pretty crazy, but that's science for you. Facts can be crazier and stranger than fiction sometimes. Makes sense, right? Right now, do take a moment to type yes in the comments below if you agree. Now, regardless, that brings us to the obvious next question. How do you fix a toxic marriage? Simple, and many of my fellow shoguns have used the following technique to fix their marriages. The moment their wives got too toxic for their tastes, they've used this technique. And soon, the ladies were back to being their happy, loving, supportive selves. We call this technique the Shogun Detox, and now you too can have its power. Before I show you how it works, do take a few seconds to subscribe down below. If you've learned something new and helpful today, then do consider joining the club. You'll continue to get sound, scientific advice to help you lead your marriage. You know, like your wife needs you to. Are you ready? Then click the subscribe button now. I'll show you the Shogun Detox technique right after you do. Are you in? Awesome. Welcome aboard. So here's how the Shogun Detox technique works. First, you got to seed inadequacy in her mind. You need to make her suspect that she's being inadequate in doing what she's expected to do. The goal is to later make her believe she's inadequate, whether or not she is. The fastest way to do this is to accuse her of inadequacy. For instance, you can tell her something like, "You're the most ungrateful person in the world," or "You don't appreciate the work I've done for us. You never did." And then, when she denies your accusations, you move on to the second step of the Shogun Detox, and that is to double down on your accusations. Now, you back up your accusations with evidence. After she denies your accusations, you can say, "Well, remember the time I canceled my fishing trip to help you with your report?" You get the idea, right? You bring up past events, true or not, that prove your accusation. You keep piling up the evidence and remind her, "Ungrateful. That's what you are. That's what you've always been." The key is to keep going until she quiets down. This is the sign that she's wondering, is he right? Am I ungrateful after all? When she quiets down, then you have the upper hand. Now it's time for the third step of the Shogun Detox, and that is to roller coaster her emotions. That is, you put her under alternating stress and relief. For instance, you can relieve her a bit by saying, "Now, I don't know if there's a reason why you're ungrateful. Maybe you were hurt in the past. Maybe you were spoiled by your parents. I don't know." This is relief because you're giving her possible excuses, and yet you turn around and say, "Still, it's no excuse to cut me like you do. It doesn't change the fact you're being an ingrate to me." You get the idea, right? So you roller coaster her until she breaks down and apologizes. This is the sign that she now believes your accusations. Now it's time for the last step of the Shogun Detox technique, and that is to stabilize. You should now give her lots of loving reassurance. It's positive reinforcement. You're rewarding her for apologizing and submitting to you. That's the Shogun Detox, and that's how to fix a toxic marriage. Now, you might be wondering, but Fredo, what if she doesn't apologize? What if the argument escalates so much that she leaves me? Well, if that happens, then you still win big. You've uncovered the fact that she's one of the few truly crazy women out there. It's better that you found that out now instead of many painful months or years later, right? Now, let's think about the more likely outcome. After she apologizes and you stabilize the relationship, you have a new challenge, and that's to make her stay that way, docile and submissive, instead of toxic and confrontational. How do you do that? Here's the good news. We figured out that part of the problem too. The solution is to turn her newly rekindled attraction into addiction. How do you do that? By reusing the third step of the Shogun Detox. That's how. Remember the roller coastering part? It actually has a proper name in psychological circles. It's called fractionation. And when you master it, you can easily make a woman feel totally, completely addicted to you. Now, here's the thing. Like the Shogun Detox, fractionation isn't exactly politically correct. So I'd rather not talk about it here. Instead, I got something even better for you. My friends at Shogun Method have a special online masterclass on mind control. In it, you'll learn everything you need to know about fractionation. That includes what it is, how it works, and how to use it on your toxic wife today. So now it's up to you. Do you want to fix your toxic wife? Do you want to finally have a strong, happy marriage? And are you willing to do whatever it takes? Then you know what to do. Click the link at the end of this presentation and sign right up. I'll see you at the online masterclass after you do.